Welcome to our 2130 Partners Operating Principle video series. I'm Suzanne Mayo-Friend, Principal of 2130 Partners, a leadership development and education firm, and also co-author of our book, Accelerate, High Leverage Leadership for Today's World. So this video segment is focusing on our operating principle, confront and deal with the real issues. So in order to talk about this operating principle and how you might put it into practice, first, we have to look at reframing both the word confront and the word real issues. It's a challenging aspect of this operating principle because traditionally our concept or idea of the word confront is to confront a person, or the word confront sounds dangerous or certainly uncomfortable, if not all the way to dangerous. And so if we want to reposition or reframe the way we think about the word confront, because we do want to confront issues, not people. So that takes a skill and a talent and to really be developed to be able to separate the person from the issue, to be able to deal with that opposed to confronting the person. So one of the ways we can define the word confront is to separate it into the two pieces of con, C-O-N, which in Espanol and in Italian also I believe it means with. So con means with. And then the second part of the word confront, front. We like to say that the meaning of this word confront can be construed to be with someone in front of something. So we're standing together as partners, side by side, confronting an issue, which is very different than me confronting another person. So when I'm confronting another person, the issue is them, and the issue is between us. When we're confronting an issue or a problem together, it's outside of us, and together we're dealing with that issue. And so that's the repositioning or the reframing of the word confront, shifting from confronting a person, having it be scary, having it be uncomfortable, to being with a person in front of an issue. So the reframing of the recontextualize, kind of rethink about what we mean by real issues. So real issues, from our perspective, are those issues, challenges that are in the way or in our pathway, blocking our pathway from here to our shared yonder star. We use the word yonder star to encompass vision, mission, goals, objectives, purpose, all of those sorts of up and out things that we're aspiring towards, that we're mutually committed to. So that shared yonder star, what gets in the way from here to there, we call them roadblocks or potholes. So the roadblocks and the potholes on the way between here and our ultimate destination or our shared goal are the real issues. What happens is people get distracted by everything else around them. One of the premise in our book, Accelerate, High Leverage Leadership for Today's World, is that there's an accelerated pace of change around us and that issues have become more and more complex. So in order for us to sort out what are the real issues, we've got to be able to distinguish between all of the things that we could work on, all of the things that could pose a threat, to what are actually the issues, what are the opportunities, and what are the challenges that are on the way between here and where we intend to go. One of the places I see this misused so often is in the traditional strategic planning or even annual planning or goal setting. Many times with teams, the traditional old sort of way of doing that, from my perspective anyway, is that groups would get together and name everything that's wrong or broken or should be fixed or isn't working or where their gaps are, make flip charts all over the room. And then somehow if we aggregate all those items on the flip chart, narrow them down into 3 or 4 key items, we'll have our goals to work on. Well, that's not the way we look at it. With our vision-focused leadership methodology, we say that the focus of leadership is on the vision. Yonder star, vision, mission, goals, objectives, all the same thing. So if the focus of our leadership is on our vision, then perhaps all of these hundreds of things that are wrong or aren't working or could be working better, maybe they could be. But are they really the highest leveraged, most catalytic things that we could focus our resources on to get us to this goal? Perhaps some of the things that are no longer working or have huge gaps that we think that we could resolve are things that are past-based, things that won't really matter in this new reality. So the idea of dealing with real issues sometimes means we have to get underneath what we first identify as a surface issue or a surface topic. one of the things that, so after we've reframed the word confront and reframed real issues, how do we really get at those real issues? So what happens most often is that the surface issues often aren't the source or the underlying issues. So for expedience sake, we think we work on the surface issues, or what we see are the most obvious things to work on. We could spend probably the rest of our lives doing that and a lot of resources without getting underneath at what are the causal or what are the underlying issues. So some of the things that cause us to mask or work on superficial issues or mask the real issue is misdiagnosis of the issue to start with. Oftentimes people will come to me with lots of great solutions, and I'm thinking, great solution, great issue, is that the real issue? So sometimes it takes a stepping back and looking at what are we really trying to solve. Help me understand how solving that problem gets us further on the way towards our ultimate goal. Help me understand how that solution solves an issue that we're experiencing. Make that connection for me. So really to dig underneath and be sure that we're working at those real issues. Another important aspect of being able to confront and deal with real issues is for me as a leader, as a productive participant in a conversation or working through an issue, is to be sure that I'm participating in a way that creates a productive environment. Because the space we have for you and I to talk, for a group of people to talk, the most productive environment is one where mutual trust, respect, and safety are present. If it's not, then we generally tend to circle around those superficial issues rather than getting at the heart of it. One of our essential notions, one of our ways of having responsible listening is a process we call exploration listening. Check out that video so that you can learn to listen in a way that helps surface real issues and get to the heart of it. So there's a quote that's often used that says, "A problem named is a problem half solved." Well, my husband, Dwight Frint, and business partner and co-author, has a corollary quote to that. He says, "A problem misnamed is a problem stuck." So really, to get at the real issue, it's useful to take some time to really examine what are we really working on here? What are we defining the issue as? And how is that an issue for us, a roadblock or a pothole on the way to our yonder star? I use the word roadblock as something that's in our way that we want to remove, and a pothole is something that's missing that we might need to fill in. So there are 5 issue masking pitfalls that you can find in our book, a little bit more explanation about. But essentially the things that mask the identification and definition of great issues is accepting surface or generalized labels, misdiagnosis, avoiding, blaming and making it personal, or hiding or masking in humor. So if you sense that any of those things are going on in your team, check that section of our book, check our website, contact us for more help about that. But this operating principle, confront and deal with the real issues, is critical to move businesses, relationships, projects, and move lives forward. So practice this in your groups, in your one-on-one interactions, at getting at the heart of the issue. Another place to get really great at asking good questions. So practice this, practice often, and accelerate your leadership.